your boy O.
It's DJ.
And for this last part of QB or not QB, we got some heat for y'all boys. Now, something I don't think we mentioned is every team we did in the we did it in a hierarchy in the order of where these teams realistically rank among the league. And for the next topic, we got them boys for y'all. Not the Cowboys. Sadly, they do fall into this category. We'll talk about that in a second though when we get to that. But we talking about them franchise boys, them quarterbacks that they gonna strap it up when it going get tough. You can put them on damn near any team with solid talent, and they can take that team to the next level. They can make almost all, if not all, the throws. They have the arm strength, they have the big playability, and they have the versatility that takes them to the next level. And with that, we're going to get into it. So first team we got today on the slate is the Chargers. Justin Herbert. Now, granted, last year there were some questions to be raised about young Herb. People were questioning whether he could get it done, whether he could win down the stretch, whether when his team needed him the most, he could show up because he was performing exceptionally well. But last year the schedule was, it ain't hard to perform when, the opponents aren't up to par. But this year they ran into some big injuries and, he had to put them big boy pants on and he had to show us, I'm going to the playoffs, dog. I don't care about none of that stuff y'all was talking about. And they went into a slump for quite some while this season with a lot of their big play threats down. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen was down for most of the year, and he was, he went out there and he got it done with those other guys, and it was impressive to say the least. To think that Miami took Tua over Justin Herbert, that's just imagine.
Sounds screwy, ain't it? I just got to say, Justin Herbert's for real. He's the real deal, Holyfield. He is. We knew, actually, I'm not going to say we. You were the first person that I talked to that said that Justin Herbert is that guy when he was at Oregon. So I'll give you credit there. I hadn't watched him. He is for real, though. He can throw. He's the prototypical big arm, can move, can run. To me, he's kind of got one of the best deep balls in the game. His deep ball is pretty to watch. It's a work of art. Now, Herbert, he looks the part. He can shred defenses when he does what he can. But there are times when he gets out of rhythm. And all these quarterbacks, it's nitpicking with all of them. So what Herbert's flaws are is that when he gets out of rhythm, sometimes he looks like he can get flustered. Sometimes the offense doesn't click the way that it should. And granted, like you mentioned with the injuries and everything, that could play a part into that. But when you're in this category, hey, you're one of the top dogs. You're one of the teams that aging veterans, they come to you trying to ring chase to get one. All of these guys, they all have a shot. Making the playoffs isn't enough. So Herbert, you got to get it done. And you're the first one that we got in here, and we know that you could do everything. I mean, they got lucky getting you. I mean, they went from having Phillip Rivers to drafting him, and now they doing what the Packers did with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. They running it back, and it
was a blessing in disguise, man. They were like, let's take a chance. It's crazy because like when you say let's take a chance, it's almost like every year since they've drafted Justin Herbert, it's almost like, so you telling me there's a chance. As long as you have somebody of his caliber at the helm, there's always an opportunity. Not saying that he's Brady, but for comparison's sake, every time, it doesn't matter what your roster looks like, but when you got Brady at the helm, anything can happen. And all I know is the vibes that Herb giving us, man.
Yeah. And all I know is at the end of the day, this team would be in the left for dead category if it wasn't for them drafting Justin Herbert, because they would be dead in the water. It doesn't matter what weapons you have. If you don't have the quarterback at the helm, you're not going to figure it out, or you're just going to be doing the Rolodex of quarterbacks.
And then also, just to cap it off, what quarterback do you know in the league, with the exception of Patrick Mahomes, can throw the ball all game? And the defense knows they can't run, knows that running is not an option. One-dimensional offense, and still pull the game out.
I know one, but we'll talk about him later. He's on this list.
You're right. I'll take that back. I'll take that over to you.
But we're going to leave that cliffhanger for the next one. For this one, I know, this is a thorn in his side. So you get to talk about this man. It's the team with that star on their helmet, and he is not a fan of this because he doesn't think a star is born every time that the Cowboys touch the field. Dak Dak Prescott with those Cowboys. Woo-wee. It's a little interesting when it comes to Dak because Dak's got the numbers in his favor. Dak can make most of the throws. Is he more or less a guy that comes back from playing from a hole? Yes. But when you look at his record, when you look at his statistics, when you look at the team success, it all points to Dak. And when you look at the sidelines and see how the team reacts to him from the morale on the sideline, it matters. It does. I mean, he's the leader of the team. He's the vocal leader of the team. You gotta put all that into account. And even though it's the Cowboys, I know we give you guys a lot of flack, Cowboys fans, but you can take some solace with this. You got one. You got your franchise quarterback.
He the only one on y'all side. I'm gonna say that. We're gonna stamp that. Signed, sealed, and delivered against my better judgment. My friends, they betrayed me on this one because I don't believe Dak belongs in this category. Listen, now I'm gonna run with the same thing I judge my partner with. Dak don't pass the eye test. I'm sorry. And he damn near don't even pass the numbers. In 3 less games, his numbers look just like Derek Carr's, and Derek Carr don't got a job no more. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna bash him no more than that. I think that summarizes my feelings. Now, does he belong in the? No. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I was about to double back. No, I'm good. Next.
No. Before we go next, let me at least give the people a little bit because Cowboys fans, you here for a reason now too. So I'll give you what you want to hear. So Dak did enough early on in his career, albeit I don't think that he should have started, that soon. I think Tony Romo would have done more with that particular team, but Dak showed the promise. He showed enough that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, they thought that we're going to go with Dak Prescott and we're going to let him take the team over because he's good enough. He's proving it in practice. He's doing the things that we see in a franchise quarterback moving forward. So I'll give him that. If he's able to make Tony Romo essentially retire early, hey, he's pretty good. He's the guy. So I'll give you that. And then also, I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. I gave you guys a compliment. So you know that with a compliment is going to come a knife in the side. I want y'all to remember something. Just because he makes this list, and that means he is the best of the best. He is the franchise quarterback. He is the 2 QB. He's not the not 2 QB. He is also the worst of the best. So I'm just going to keep that out there. Y'all go ahead and interpret that as y'all will. He is not the best of the best. He is the worst of the best, but at least he's one of the best. So go ahead, Cowboys fans, take that with what you will.
He belonged over there with Kirk Cousins. That's the next. But the Bengals, because I don't have reservations about Joe Burrow. I don't, because he's a winner, bro. He's a winner and he's a leader. And those are two things that I cannot take from him. He does lack arm strength. That is still a noted thing. That is still a very noted thing for a guy to fall in this category. He makes shit happen, and you can't take that away from him.
Yep.
You cannot take that. That's a bad. I used to want to hate on Joe Burrow, and I don't know. I do know why, because he was LSU. Yeah, because he LSU boy. I don't know about y'all. I don't know about. Oh, I know how you get down. We're not even about to. But I can't hate on greatness. We know how you get though.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. Joe Burrow is a guy that will sit in there and he's gonna take the punishment for the big play, and that can be a good thing or that could be a terrible thing. It's gonna be great for a short term of his career. It could be terrible for his long term career because there was another Bengals quarterback that took a couple hits from time to time too much, and his name was Carson Palmer. I'm not saying that he's Carson Palmer. I'm just saying that Joe Burrow has got real talent, and I hope that he gets the ball out faster because he is getting hit at a ridiculous rate. I'm just going to mention that. On the other side of it, he's got a team that can fully complement him. He's got a great defense. He's got exemplary weapons with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine. I could keep going, but he's got the whole arsenal. He's got the whole nine. If you give them all of this, then it's hard not to thrive.
I agree, but you know where they still lacking at? Even though they swear they made the greatest improvements in the offseason, that O-line still ass. And bro, one of the sayings that gets on my fucking nerves, and you say it all the time, and every time we have a conversation, the best ability is availability. And if he keep taking all these damn L's, he ain't gonna be available for too much longer.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough being Joe Burrow back there with that line. He's got the talent, and like he just said recently, his Super Bowl window is his entire career.
I don't
How
know.
long will your career be, though, Joe?
That's a wild take. There's only been one quarterback in NFL history where the Super Bowl window was his entire career. So I have a hard time letting him run with that one, but that's not a today discussion.
That's why he's Joe Cool, because he says things and people just believe it
They eat
because
it up.
he has the look that he's not lying. He believes it.
Oh yeah, man, that baby face with them buffs and that cigar, you can't beat it, I guess.
But we're gonna keep it in the same division in the AFC North with the Browns and Deshaun Watson. So it's been a long time coming. These Browns have been making mistakes for my entire life, your entire life, fans' entire lives. It's actually surprising the Browns got it right. And you know what? We're gonna give them credit where it's due. Shout out to my dad, because you are a Browns fan.
And it's crazy, man, because like I know a lot of people will probably watch this and refute the statement, but in reality, we just don't give because the truth is the truth. We know who Deshaun Watson is. We know what talent Deshaun Watson has. We're not talking about the allegations and the extra shit and everything else that comes with taking him on. You're talking about an individual that damn near won an MVP with one of the most worthless rosters in the NFL. Single-handedly. If that ain't impressive, I don't know what is, man.
I mean, you got to give him credit where the credit's due. I mean, whether or not he was going to win it or not going to win it, that's up for debate. But he should have been in consideration, no question, because what he was doing was crazy. It was remarkable. He had Brandon Cooks and pretty much no one else, and he went out there and was carving teams up and was doing shootouts all game,
week to week.
But also, though, we gotta give him a little bit of context, because with the Browns, y'all passed up on Patrick Mahomes. Y'all passed up on Josh Allen. Y'all passed up on so many quarterbacks.
They passed up on him in the draft.
You're right. They did. They passed up on him, and then y'all had to go ahead, spend the block, and when y'all spun the block, y'all had to back the Brinks truck up because y'all had to go ahead and drop that bag to get this man. But you know what? You overpay for things that are worth it, and that's what Deshaun Watson is. He's worth it because at the end of the day, he's a guy that he comes with enough drama that's more than a Lifetime movie. That's fine. But at the same time, if he's going to perform on the field, he's got Nick Chubb back there. He's got a very good offensive line. They can shore up that defense a little bit just to play consistent.
And he got great receiving options.
And they're probably only going to get better because they haven't been playing with each other very long. He's a proven quarterback. He's a guy he's franchise. He's true. He's not faux. He's real. And when you got a real guy, you got a real shot at all times.
Facts.
We know this contract isn't necessarily built, for this year. And I know you Browns fans out there are thinking, oh, he didn't play that great at times this year. Oh, he lost to the Steelers, yada, yada, yada. Guys, he's been there for a few weeks. Give him some time. He's going to be just fine. He's going to get better. He's still in the prime of his career, and he wants to stay here. So cherish that, because not many people want to stay in Cleveland.
Yeah, man. As long as the only skin he touching is a pig skin, bro, he'd be good.
Anywho, let's go ahead. Before this goes off the rails, we're going to get this going over to one of my personal favorites. Not because I think he's the best, but just because I called it. And when I call it, I like credit. But respectively, number 3, the Jags and Trevor Lawrence. He is number 3. Yeah, and you know what? I want to start this off by just giving kudos and flowers to the Jets once more. I've said it once. I'm going to say it again. It ain't going to be the last time. Thank you, Frank Gore. Thank you, Jets, for winning the games that you didn't have to win. And now Trevor Lawrence is at the Jags. And now this Jets team gets to just go ahead and cry in the corner because you got Zach Wilson and they got Trevor Lawrence.
Hey, I'm good with it. They get a pat on the back in my book. That means I ain't got to see the motherfucker twice a year.
Hey, that's true. He ain't in your division. But I'm also going to lead this with a quote from Ryan Clark. This Lawrence dude can throw anywhere he wants, how he wants, to anyone he wants. Trevor Lawrence is for real, man. He can make the throws. Is he as talented as Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes? No, he's not. Can he throw just as well as Justin Herbert on any given day? He can. He can do everything that you need in a quarterback. He's the prototypical big, strong. He can move. He can drop it in the bucket. He can throw through the windows. He You can throw it from the pocket, outside the pocket. The man is like he's another franchise quarterback. They don't make him like they used to no more. And he's another one of those one of a kinds that's, hey, when you got one, you lock him up, you can almost guarantee it that they will be backing that Brinks truck up to him next year, or not next year, in year 3, and they're going to pay him as soon as possible so that they don't have to pay him $800 million. They're going to try to keep this as low as possible.
You know, he might, you know, it pains me to say this. He might make some mistakes still. He might still have some minor hitches. I was wrong. He one of them dudes, and he does nothing but prove it more and more week to week. You got that one. I'll give you your pat on the back. Thumbs up to you, my boy.
But just because you give me a pat on the back means that I gotta put a kick to the shin to Urban Meyer, because, sir, you took away a good year from Trevor Lawrence that we didn't get to see, because you was out here kicking kickers and being a distraction to this Jaguars team. So, sir, I do not appreciate you, and you still are one of the worst coaches of all time in my eyes. And it's just Trevor, man. It's not that he can do no wrong in my eyes, but you got a guy on a rookie contract. You got a guy that he doesn't know how good he is yet. So if they get some weapons around them, if they mature up on their defense, they go get one more guy. They already got Calvin Ridley. They get one more guy, like a sure-handed kind of guy for him. This team, it's gonna be fireworks in the AFC. It already is, and they only gonna get more crazy.
Yeah. Man, I'll preface this. These next two, the only reason one is at number 1 is because he got a Super Bowl already, and he's a proven winner over and over. But the guy holding down that number 2 spot guaranteed in any ranking, arguably number 1, Josh Allen and the Bills. Josh Allen has already proved us that he can do it all. He can make all the throws. He has the arm strength of Hercules, and he built like a tank and run like a running back at quarterback. There's just no knock on Josh Allen at this point. He's proved all the haters wrong. He can throw the ball wherever he wants to throw the ball. Tight areas with some touch. He can pick a defense apart. He can run it full. Like I said, he towed the ball like a running back. There's just nothing to hate on the dude about, man. He has all the tangibles, all the intangibles. He's a winner. There's nothing. The dude ain't got no negative stripes no more. All those guys that were against him and said, you know, now granted, he still makes some questionable decisions at times.
Yes, thank you.
That's a part of the nature of being a gunslinger. Hey, but when you got Stephon Diggs to cover some of that up sometimes, and you just you air that joint out and do what you got to do to win games, it comes with it.
It's true. Now, I will say, though, that if anyone out there doesn't believe that Josh Allen can shred any defense that he likes, go ahead and ask Bill Belichick what he's done to the Patriots in these last couple of years. The man really is half man, half amazing. And my biggest knock on him really is that he runs too much. I'm sorry, Josh Allen. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And he keeps running. He keeps putting the team on his back. He keeps doing it his way because he acts like he's built Ford tough, and Ford ain't that tough. So you need to stop, Josh, because it ain't true.
He run like he immortal, man. And at some point, he gonna find out he not if he don't calm down. But you know, for now, he doing what it takes to get it done. And like I said, man, he's him. He's proven it. He's gave us every reason to believe and no reason not to. You know, like, think about it. This is the same individual we was talking about 6 weeks ago having surgery, the season being over. What was the Bills going to do? And realistically, they probably should have been the number 1 seed in the AFC with that same hurt quarterback at the helm.
Josh Allen, I hope that he realizes how good he is, and I hope that he hones in and learns from some of the mistakes, because he does make mental mistakes. I believe he's still leading the league in interceptions in the red zone, which that's just a concentration issue. That's a focus issue. That's a heads up. You're getting fooled when you're marching up and down the field, and you should be able to figure this out. You're good enough. You're great enough to do this. So if he's able to keep this up and just break through that little lapse, like sometimes when he loses concentration, you can't get bored out there. You can't have that lapse. You just have to be great again, do it again, keep doing more. Don't give them any chance of beating you. And I think that's probably his biggest thing right now, is that he just needs to break through that and just stay consistent. But it's hard to tell Thanos to think with your head and not with your might when you got all the Infinity Stones. Why would you do that? It don't make no sense. You're the best. You're the strongest. You're the fastest. You can do all. Why wouldn't you keep doing all?
That's a fact, man. But for number one, it goes without saying, man. The guy is the guy. Did he fall into probably the best position of any rookie in the history of football? For sure. But guess what? You still got to show up. And every week, every snap, he do that. Even when we counted him out, they said, can he still do that without Tyreek Hill? Can he do that with Juju being his best receiver on the field? He did it, bro. We've literally watched teams do everything in their power to take away Travis Kelce. And he was like, it's still other guys running routes out there. I don't know if y'all can see him, but I can. The Chiefs are a textbook way on how to build a dynasty right now. They paid the people they needed to pay, and they're a primo destination when you continue to win. They draft well, they do the right things, and you have a stud like Patrick Mahomes who can make all the throws and can make throws that are unconventional and unrealistic in his decision-making on the fly and the ability to keep his eyes down the field and make big plays instead of using his legs to gain the yards. It's amazing. For lack of a better descriptive word of the situation that we see from Patrick Mahomes. And granted, like I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I don't know why. I can't explain it.
Probably because he beat Brady.
Nah, that ain't got nothing to do with it. He great. You can't deny greatness. I'm sorry. You just, even as much as I dislike him, he a bad man. It's just the truth. The truth is the truth, and that's that.
I think what the Chiefs have showed us, they showed us the textbook model. If you've made it this far, then this is the way that teams need to build their rosters. This is the way that teams need to build their quarterback into a situation where they can thrive. Real quick, y'all. The Chiefs, they studied the scout well. They built through the draft well, and they built a franchise quarterback. And they went and got the guy when they knew they had the right one. They hit it. Nobody knew that they wanted to get him, and they jumped over to the Saints and Sean Payton, and they went and got the guy that they wanted. When they still had a quarterback, and albeit, I wouldn't say he's in this top list, but he would probably be a step below in Alex Smith, who they were successful with at the time. When you get a generational talent like Patrick Mahomes, when you turn around and you're able to actually plug them in with offensive talent, with a good enough offensive line. They had Kareem Hunt They had Kareem Hunt as running back. They also had a young Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. He was just now starting to come along at that point. You couldn't come into a better situation. I'd like to compare it to Steve Young when he came to the Niners, but that's a whole nother day. That's a whole nother day and a whole nother debate. But either way, Patrick Mahomes is the mold. Patrick Mahomes is the guy. He's doing the most. His only weakness that I would give is that sometimes he tries to do too much. Sometimes he tries to look down the field and make the big play happen too much. Everybody's got weaknesses here.
He has
every quarterback.
He has that Russ element where he tries to be Superman every snap, instead of just living to fight another day sometimes.
Hopefully he figures it out though, and he learns from his mistakes to just be like, take the check down, take the outlet. You don't have to make the big.
All I'm gonna say is, if I was getting paid $500 million over the course of the next 10 years, I'd do whatever I wanted to do too. I'd be out that bitch stunting on the field there's a sidearm for 60 yards. Why not? Because I'm him. That's the way he'd be out there on the field. He'd be like, yo, what made you do that? I don't know. I just threw that shit, bro. I just knew it was gonna hit.
The only him that's got a little bit more arms talent than him is Josh Allen, and we just talked about him. He's got a freakish arm, and Mahomes, you've got the next freakiest arm in the league. So, hey, this has been the conclusion of what we've got going on here with the 2 QB or not 2 QB. I hope you guys like our analysis. If you guys want more takes like this, if you guys got anything more that you guys would like us to talk about, if you'd like another breakdown in another position or something else, leave that in the comments. Give us a comment, give us a like, subscribe, guys. Go ahead and give us all those thumbs up that you guys can give. So we appreciate it. This is Don't Take Us Seriously. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.